ready for our second best of 3 on the evening, and this is the one that we built up to go the distance. It's Liquid, who's with Hiko now, have a reform. They've been a lot better online. Still haven't translated it to lands against CLG, who in the recent months have put their best foot forward to become the second best team in North America. However, there are some issues heading into this one. CLG had a lot of DDoS issues in the last match. I assume what was DDoS issues, internet connection issues, regardless, however you want to put the spin on it. That may still plague them into this one, but they're going to go ahead and they're going to play regardless.
Yep, always a difficult thing. Online CS is what it is. Unfortunately, some players still not fully protected, I guess. It's surprising as well, seeing I think those guys live in a house together, right?
They are in a house, and they're not only. It's more of like a compound. They've got a couple teams in there, I believe. I think the League of Legends team is there. There might be a Hearthstone player there. I'm not sure, but there's a good number.
I don't really know the technical operation of getting that protected, but I assume that's possible, but who knows. But yeah, obviously I hope it doesn't become a factor, because it'll make a kind of a disappointing games. Obviously this one is like you said, Liquid bringing in Hiko. We're hoping he's kind of sorted the lineup out. It's difficult to predict, like based on previous performances and previous matchups between these guys, where it will go, because obviously I think he brings so much to that team that could obviously turn them around and make them a lot stronger unit.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree with that. He's really good in clutch situations, very good at closing out rounds. If they get Nitro rolling again on his entry position, if Adren can get the op up and actually online, and I don't mean just online, I mean online, you know what I mean? Right? Yeah. Not to confuse, that's probably not the best.
Started up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think
elevated.
We talked about him being the leader before, so let's just run through the lineup quickly. So you've got Adren, Nitro, Fugly, Elige, Hiko. So obviously Adren was the in-game leader before and the AWP player, and now I assume Hiko would take up that role. I can't imagine him joining a team like this and not
being the best hat I've ever seen Hiko wear.
I've never seen that one before.
Me neither. I like it.
It looks like a very old picture, but
I mean, this is a lot of talent on one roster when you actually break it down. Liquid. This is the thing. This is why everyone says they have so much potential.
Well, that's the thing. Every time they go to an event, we're always saying on paper it looks amazing, right? And then they turn up to the actual event, and it's always quite disappointing. I can't think of a European event they've attended where I think, okay, that's actually a decent showing from them.
Right. So we'll go through it a little bit here as well. Adren, he's been running the op and in-game leading. He doesn't necessarily T-side up because of that. Now, we've also had the hint that Hiko is contributing well with mid-round calling, more specifically, and he may adapt the full-time strat calling role eventually, but that means Adren's going to have to put a lot more emphasis on that AWP game. Nitro, widely considered one of the best players in terms of raw skill in North America, had a really good stint, although very short, with iBuyPower. Was actually on the roster up until they got banned, and he actually just left. I think I say he was on the roster up until they get banned. He played one of the last couple matches with them, but he was actually just left prior to that to head over to this roster. And again, if he can get his entry rolling, if he can get his early game going like he did at ESEA LAN back in last December, almost a year ago, Liquid will have such a better chance at getting into bomb sites. Fugly, again, a huge impact player. He's been on a couple different rosters, mostly stable with this one. Changes with Nafly, etc. He's been in the entire time. Anger as well. He's never really stepped up to be the top fragger for them. There was actually a brief period in time when he was removed from the roster, added back in. He's got lots of skill as well, but he's played more the support role for this team. And Elige. Elige comes in, and he's another player with huge talent, highly regarded in the North American scene. I would actually say Elige could be up there with Nitro. I still think Nitro has more raw skill, and he's got a very aggressive game style to him, but Elige is right there in terms of accuracy. And then, of course, Hiko, and we don't really need to introduce him very much. He's going to be a big difference in closing out rounds.
He's just been the super merc recently for a lot of teams, and especially this one as well. We didn't think he would actually join full-time, to be honest. There was a speculative rumours going around. They talked about him just being the actual fill-in temporarily, and there was a lot of issues about whether he's actually coming in, but here he is. He's actually signed and an official player. So like I said, I think he's going to have such an impact on that team, the wealth of experience he brings, and something this team looked like they were lacking a little bit as well. And like I said, I assume he will be taking over that calling role as well. I can't imagine he would join a team like this and not be fulfilling that. But it'll be interesting to see how this one goes down. Definitely, I think the lineup looks a lot stronger when he's on the roster.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of speculation over it. Flowsick, when they brought him in actually to play the entry role in particular, that was when Liquid started to step things up, but obviously they went away from him because his performance trailed off a little bit. I think you're right. It's definitely a lot stronger. But here we go. CLG, team that I said, remember, was stepping up and I think have occupied the second best North American team, qualified for the major, went through the North American qualifier unbeaten, just like Cloud9 did in their respective bracket. FNS. Been a lot of speculation over him about his place on the roster. He's had some good games as of late, but now that he's not the in-game leader, a lot less chance that people will overlook his stats and give him, that mulligan that we often give the in-game leaders. That's not their responsibility.
The same thing Cutler's been reported to have the same recently, yeah?
Exactly, but Cutler, as back in that role, has been playing so well as of late. I think he's been one of the most consistent players at LAN. At Winout, he was actually down a little bit. Hayes stepped up massively in the finals, but Tarek and JDM came into this roster once Peter left, back into this roster, you could say, because 3 seasons ago even, he was with this roster, and this roster has been North America's most stable, if you want to look at it in that regard. And JDM's been big. I think he's been, he hasn't been the most flashy player in the world, but he's been getting some huge impact kills, and then that leaves Tarek, and Tarek has been... he gets a lot of, he gets a lot of respect, but he gets a lot of people that flame him as well just because he's got an attitude where he's still a younger player. He's very emotional at times, but when he has a good game, everyone on the server has to be aware of his presence.
Yeah, he's a classic CS fragger. Massive impact when he's on firing on all cylinders. Can be a little bit quiet at times, but normally you can see him popping heads all over the place. So yeah, one of the biggest fraggers is going to be on the server tonight. So definitely one to watch out for. Well,
we will get into, so past encounters as well before we move forward. So RGM Pro Series actually did go to CLG. In fact, all of these going to CLG, including ties. Can't call those victories for Liquid either. So all of them going to CLG. If DDoS continues tonight, CLG's record might get broken in that regard, but Liquid's definitely had trouble with these guys. In fact, the only time I think that Liquid actually beat them in the recent history that I can recall, obviously in Pro League, they split one apiece, so those are best of ones. You could argue they got one there. But if you go all the way back to MLG, and that was on cash, and that was when a lot of the issues were still that CLG had individual skill, but couldn't close games in terms of tactically. Yeah. So that sense improved, and Liquid's advantage there head-to-head has shifted away. If they can resolve that with Hiko in the lineup tonight, though, that could be impressive.
Well, the thing you said about DDoSing as well, it's not just one person getting DDoS.
It's a whole house.
The whole team. So that's why it's such a massive factor here. Normally you can sub someone out like most Europeans will, but that's why it's such a huge thing.
Pros and cons of a gaming house, right? I mean, the gaming houses should have protection. I wouldn't necessarily blame all the players here unless someone, didn't do something as protocol, within the team is written out to be. But overall, the organization should be responsible for keeping the house protected. It's been an issue with other teams as well, specifically in CS Luminosity. We mentioned that last June they had about a week period where they couldn't win a match because they just couldn't play a match correctly. Hopefully, it's not going to be an issue. Absolutely.
Like when you're there just to play CS, it's all your whole focus, and you can't even do that. So.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not an issue tonight. We will look at the picks and bans again. I mean, Liquid, regardless of that, still has a chance to come into this. I thought this would go 3 maps regardless, as the last couple encounters have gone. But there we go. They're actually going to take out Inferno against Liquid. I'm not surprised by that at all, especially when you've got a guy like Hiko that's going to be lurking and pushing aggressively into those apartments on the T side. Sure. Dust 2 goes out. They don't want to play CLG on it. That's been their upset map of multiple instances. But we have a rather untraditional, the new 3 maps.
Yeah, I was going to say, the really exotic maps coming into the board. So first up, Cobblestone. I have to say, I didn't get to watch the LAN that just went past this weekend. So I'm not sure how strong CLG will be on that. Obviously, coming back off a LAN win, going to be really happy to be playing once again. Obviously, the DDoSing might be an issue, but Liquid, I'm more interested to see how they approach these maps. I think their approach to the fundamentals of their CS have always been very good. They're good at approaching rounds and getting opening picks and stuff. It's been their execution onto bomb sites that has been a problem in the past, and maps like Cobble as well. It's all about getting that opening pick, especially your areas on drop down, upper platform, for example. You're working off those upper picks, and if you can get them, it's then your execution onto the bomb side is very important. So it'll be interesting to see whether Liquid can find that with Hiko on the team and his mid-round calling potentially. Let's see what they can bring to the table. It's going to be very interesting indeed.
And it's interesting that CLG have also gone toward Cobblestone because that is a map that Liquid, Dren's studied that inside out. You remember his video that was kind of like a foot in the door to Valve to how to correct things. They actually listened to it, made some changes. That said, they still aren't perfect on it. Adren's one of those anomalies right now where he's got so much knowledge, kind of like Sean Gears used to be. You listen to the guy talk individually about the game, about how it should be played, about tactics, about maps. He knows what he's talking about, but sometimes it doesn't translate to the teams that he's on. And Sean, like I say, had that issue for a long time with Cloud9. Hiko coming in, maybe adapting new roles, that could start to change. A lot of pressure relieved, potentially. But it is interesting that is picked by CLG against Liquid, because usually when I look at those two teams on that particular map, although CLG's had some decent performances late, I think Liquid's actually the better team on it. So
interesting to see whether Adren will be stepping up with the AWP on this map. I assume the roles have maybe slightly changed a little bit. Adren always has been the AWP player, but as I said before, I don't think he's ever really impressed me that much. He's always been better with the rifles, in my opinion.
And to compare Nitro, if you will, as we look at our predictions here in just 1 second. To compare Nitro to someone like Simple, he'll call if he wants the AWP. So they've got dual op potential now on that team with both those players picking it up. But CLG's got the same. I mean, Cutler will pick it up. Hayes just picked it up. Obviously, JDM's the primary. We look at the odds there. EGB was first up. Esports Gaming, 1.3 to 3. So everyone's here favoring CLG in this case so far. CSGO Lounge goes completely the other way, though. Team Liquid.
I think that's more down to the DDoS issue, to be honest.
It might be, because you can still change your bet up until about 10 minutes
so on
prior.
Twitter, everyone's been talking about it, so I assume everyone's trying to cash in on a little bit of DDoS magic.
Well, maybe that will change things. 42-58 on HLTV. Again, this one goes to CLG, as recent performances have shown. They've been the better of the two teams. And 60-40 on Twitch, again, for CLG. So things are consistent. Again, I think the DDoS obviously would have swayed things. And CSGO Lounge, apparently these CSGO Lounge ones were wrong. There's the correct CSGO Lounge. So everyone is consistent with CLG. That does make a lot more sense.
Okay, then. Well, what do you think?
I still think it's 2-1 CLG if all goes to plan. Now, seeing the maps as we did, if Cobblestone does slip away from them, they get to train, smoke. I mean, this is a momentum-style series. If either team can break out on their T side based on the executions of the maps that we have,
sure,
it could go 2-0 for Liquid as easily as it could go, 2-1 CLG, 2-0 CLG.
I don't know enough about the map pools of both teams now, so I do think CLG will get a win. I'm going to say 2-0 CLG, but I don't want to comment too much on the particular maps as I haven't watched them play enough to actually say how that's going to go. I
think Cobblestone should be the key to the map or the series. If CLG sneak that in against Liquid, they should take this in 2. There's still a chance as well, though, that Liquid could, with Hiko lurking on a map like Train, if they can get him the opening to get in the bomb sites, and he's got a place like Quad to play kind of cheeky around.
When we saw them Hiko play for Flipside on Cobble especially, he was so good on that map because he was able to, the whole team going over towards B-bomb site, his lurk potential, he read the game so well, managing to get distractions on the A-bomb side, take 2 frags down with him as well. That's such a huge impact to someone like him on the server. So maybe he can do something, but if I'm looking at the stats and CLG just off the back of a LAN win, and hopefully there's no DDoS issues, I think a 2-0. But
yeah, I think it'll be a comeback though. I think it'll be a 1-0 Liquid off the start of this. I'm again, both maps, the first 2 maps could go either way, but in the end, I think it is going to be CLG 2-1. Again, I'm not really sure how it's going to happen. This could be the key to the series though. This first map for Liquid, and that's where we begin on Cobblestone. And you talk about lurk potential for Hiko. Not only that, as you say, lurking over toward A, he's also got drop to work with where he's very good. I still think guys like Elige and Nitro need to be able to make the openings on the platform if they're going to hit that B site. We need to see those early picks work in their favor. That's been Liquid's big issue a lot of the times. That and post-plant situations, which have been absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always come down to these clutch situations. A lot of people saying, oh, they're not experienced enough and they're still learning. So I just don't entertain it anymore. Like, I've seen them at about 5 or 6 European events now, and they still seem to struggle with the rounds. They get the bomb down, they get themselves in an advantageous position, and it kind of falls apart at the last possible second. But let's see, with the more experienced Hiko in the team, if they can pull back and hopefully utilize all the power they have on paper.
I haven't seen that spawn in a while.
Which spawn?
The spawn on the actual platform at B. Usually you just get the straight horseshoe spawn.
Well then, here we go, first map of the series. Let's have a look. 2 players for CLG are going to be on utilities. Would be smoke's going down, so we'll be heading towards the B bomb side as well.
And Elige will be the one that's playing on the platform aggressively as well. No Molotovs to displace him. Just flashbangs, those are going to be thrown now. And Cutler is taken down in the end by Fugly. JDM responds though, so does Hayes, and they've made it inside the B site, so a retake has to come through already for Team Liquid. They've lost Nitro, they've lost Elige. Hiko's still trying to go for this retake though, and on the rock, it is going to be a kill coming in for Fugly before getting traded by JDM. In decent position was Fugly to come through, but now was left to finesse in the back of the site. And he's made the shot successfully to Adren. That allows JDM to close out Hiko, and it leaves 3 alive. Again, not that it matters on pistol, not too much invested, but more importantly, 1-0 CLG.
Absolutely. So B-bomb side normally favored on the pistol there. You see them get in, as long as you get that first frag, it's pretty much a round tied up there. They had the utility at the end, hold off the key choke points once the bomb went down, and that retake's almost impossible at that stage. You have to run through smoke, and the T's just wait to pop your heads off. CTs have invested pretty much fully into this round. You see Adren will be the AWPer going forward. He has not bought any armor there, so that's obviously a clear signal to us to answer that doubt we had going into this game. And CLG, looks like they're opting all 5 players over towards mid now. No one going to be going towards B whatsoever, so that's where the contention first comes in, and Adren will be holding them off.
Good damage dealt with that nade as well. Peeks on the back of a second one from his teammate. Another flash follows up, but Adren has expired, so there's no one to peek through when it pops in. And we'll push a little bit closer with the second man. That's Fugly. With JDM now taking down Elige. The pistols have done good damage, but they may not find a whole lot more. Tarek's on very, very low HP, mind you. 3 as he sits at the bottom of the stairwell. Needs to not peek. His back almost exposed. There is a player immediately behind, but Fugly looks away at the wrong moment. And Tarek will survive. This may just be enough to keep it flawless for CLG. It's left to Hiko. He's made his way inside the A site, lurking as always, gotten in behind CLG's players.
Right, this is the point where he's got the armor and the 5-7. Just want to take down a kill with him perhaps, but I'd to say maybe it's worth saving at this stage. Oh, actually,
Well, that's worth it to take a gun off of JDM. Mind you, not a heavy investment from CLG so far. As Finesse looks to close it out with the AK and does so successfully. So now 2-0. Team Liquid not able to get a whole lot done.
No, absolutely not. That full buy investment for them with the pistols and armor didn't really pay off. Got 1 frag at the end from Hiko, but luckily for them, Adren did not force into the armor. Like we said, he will get the AWP. So all is not lost yet. It's just going to be a very quiet round for them going to number 3 here. And there should be a pretty clean sweep for CLG here. You can see the actual 4-5-man stack coming into B bomb side. So this could be interesting, and it looks like CLG will be heading over there as well. So maybe this is the right call. Hayes could be leading the charge here, and actually will be running into some players any second now.
I like this little boost, though, from Elige above the statue. It is a 2-man boost, so they're not using the tree. They've got a player up there as well, though, as I say that. We see it again from a different angle, but Tarek has found that shot on Elige, so it all comes to no avail. Still, the stack, though, could be detrimental. It could be punishing, but not if CLG are careful, and that's exactly what they're doing. Finesse gets back to Fugly, and Hiko managing only 2 kills for himself. Gives 3rd round to CLG, but here come the guns.
Yeah, this is the one that's interesting. Obviously, the stack not really going how they intended. They actually got the read right there. Hiko picking up 2 frags, but it all led to this moment. How are they buying up into this round? Adren not going to have the AWP we may have thought he could buy. He's going to have the M4, Fugly on the Famas as well. And it seems like Hayes will be keeping his MP7. Suggests something pretty fast coming in. He could just go straight to drop down perhaps, and it looks like exactly what he'll be doing here.
There's no AWP out on the CT side, but JDM, as we can see, has his already in play. Elige again going to play aggressively on that platform. JDM's playing over on the A site, but he's since... Well, actually, I was going to say since rotated back over when they get a first pick, but that actually goes Adren's way, and follow that up as Fugly takes down Tarek. So now we've got a response from Team Liquid on this CT side. Cutler with his 2 teammates are going to try and work A. No distraction left on B, but still not a heavy rotation back in the favor of the A side. Adren just getting in toward the balcony now. Fugly at connector. If 1 smoke were to be deployed on top of that doorway, it would mean at least the front side of the site to be covered off. They could push forward past the planks, but they still have to contend with the fact that Hiko is on the platform waiting, and Adren is in a good crossfire position to cancel them from getting into the bomb site. I like this boost. JDM going to try and get above the smoke, scout out anyone that's trying to rotate over. So far, that's exactly no one. At least not in an open position. Finally, that smoke will be deployed. That'll hold Fugly. A Molotov as well on Hiko. This will force him out of position, but how does he react? He's actually going to take a lot of damage. In fact, going down to 23 before he moves. Trying to catch them off guard in a late movement, but that's not going to help. JDM again with 2 more kills. About to find his 3rd, not able to land the shot. But it is a successful take on the A site. Fugly going to try and do everything he can against it. They've got the man advantage on Team Liquid's side, but JDM, he's still wreaking havoc. He's still got post-plant position. He's going to have to ace this if he wants to win the round, as he's already got 3. He's lower on HP and flashed perfectly. As Fugly will take the shot after Elige makes the play and gets the defuse. 1 now for Liquid against the 3 of Counter Logic Gaming, but they're still going to have money in the next round.
Yeah, we saw Hayes with the MP7 trying to utilize that. Could have been a massive payoff from him as well. Dropping down into the drop-down area with no head arm on the CT as well. Could have been big. Didn't really happen for them. 5-on-3 situation. I'm not sure how JDM got so many picks there. Got the bomb down as well, like you said. And that's going to cost the CTs a lot of cash. But they do get the AWP pickup as well. So Adren will be running at this round. 5 AKs for CLG. The AWP obviously so impactful for them this time. So hopefully we'll see something more traditional from CLG this time. Obviously a little bit more of an all-in move. Last one with the AP7. But here we go. They actually got sending someone straight to the upper platform. It's going to be Hayes. And we see so many teams do that, trying to work that initial pick here. He's going to be smoked out, so could Could be made redundant for at least another 15 seconds here as they fill up. But actually, you look over towards A side of the map. Actually going towards long A here.
Hiko and Nitro are going to be playing that together. Nitro's actually boosted up on that half wall above the main entrance on the A site. And he goes down in the corner below. That does actually give a lot of motion and movement to CLG in that long position. Bomb, by the way, is dropped down as we can see it in the minimap in the B halls.
So it looks like the T's will be trying to peel away as many CTs as they can with this little unit they've got, and that's all the presence they actually want to show towards A. They're trying to give us some sort of info. It's actually going to work. One of the CTs does rotate from B, so if they were going to go in now, is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, just one smoke as well. So that keeps excuse me. I was about to say Nitro and Hiko. Why is that so hard to say together? In place. So now they've got 5 essentially on 3 as Adren's going to make his presence back over into the B site on this take. And Fugly's already dodged one flash, but not the second. Tarek looks to come through, but Fugly gets the kill. Follow that up though. Platform's gone. Hazed and Cutler have made their way through. Elige and Fugly gone as well. That does mean that Adren's got to come up big. AWP does pay off as his CT side opping's never been in question. It's going to absolutely be massive. It's going to have to be, but Hayes is taking Nitro, and he's going to get Adren as well. Cutler forward has Hiko just to deal with, and he's got him already. Bomb gets planted just before, so there won't be the initial money bonus for the individual. But that's 4 rounds now.
Yeah, I really like that from CLG, you know, that's actually pretty cool. Getting themselves into the long A area, having a pretty convincing smoke take and flashes, peeling away a CT there, then going back, simple execution into the site, made the frags they had to. Adren not being able to pick up many of the AWP, he's the one that rotated from B as well, so that's going to be a disappointing round for Liquid to lose as well there, because after winning that one round, getting themselves back into the series, they go into the next with $1,400, and you can see that's going to affect them pretty devastatingly as well. Nothing really being bought whatsoever. USPs and that stack into B coming in once again.
Nade, we have seen Elige playing in that position, so that nade potentially could have done damage, but he's not there. In fact, they're going to boost Adren up instead. Corner boost came off the head of Nitro. But a Molotov will clear the spot further. Massive damage done onto Hazed. Barely gets any done in return, and they follow that up. In fact, Elige comes all the way around the corner, and JDM was not in a position to defend his teammates, so they get that one for free, essentially. 32 HP still on Elige, not bad, considering he's got no armor, and he was just using the USP initially.
Look at Tarek, though. He's made his way all the way onto the A-bomb site here, and he's going to be given the call in. Guys are stacking B once again. Make your way over here. Smoke come into connector, and this should be a foregone conclusion now. Very simple stuff, as the CTs will have absolutely nothing to retake with.
And they go for the drop boost as well on the CT side to try and get a little bit more information, potentially catch them off guard if they are waiting in those B hallways, but now they've realized it is on A, and it'll just be an economic game at this point. See if they can find some exit kills, drop down some of these AK-47s that the CLG team has bought into. Bomb planted, round is pretty much covered because pistols against 4, even though they've got the man advantage, it's pretty much irrelevant.
Yeah, it's a pretty ballsy play from Tarek, you know, like after losing Hazed over there with no reaction whatsoever from the T side, him walking into that play, if he had died then as well, could have been round over for them, but took the risk, went up by himself, and gave them the all clear, and obviously that's what swayed the round there. Now we can see one player, actually no one actually go down for CLG following that first initial frag, so nice clean round from there. Strong here. They take the 5th round on the board. 5-1 on T side of Cobble. Never a bad situation. This could almost be a double eco for Liquid. They won't be able to get the AWPs. They'll get Famises if they force into this one. Very difficult situation for them. Right up against the ropes now in terms of the economy. Good thing to note is no DDoS as of yet. Seems like CLG are
Don't jinx
fine.
it, man. Interesting thing as well to note, we're 6 rounds in. This is round 7, and Nitro's yet to pick up a kill. I know they've only had guns in a few of those rounds, but he's a player that does sometimes get a little bit on tilt. He's improved that over, I guess you could call it with age, even though it's really only been under the last year, but experience more than anything.
Oh. Down he goes again. So 5-on-3 situation now. Once again, the CTs are on eco here, so PT50s and 5.7s not being able to do any damage as of yet. Tarek will continue that trend as he takes down Hiko there. He does get one of his own, but the round should be over any second as Adren is the last man remaining.
So it'll be 6 rounds for Counter Logic Gaming. Winning the pistol, lost the first gun, but still had money based on efficiency. And that's what shut down Liquid so far.
And that's forced the double eco as well, so you can't read too much. There's only been one gun round so far, right? So this is where it gets very interesting. What can they do to counter this? Adren once again picking the AWP. I'd like to see him go for the first pick initially, maybe going down long A, going for the first little bit of aggression there, just to try and get some momentum in their favour in terms of the round play. But looks like he maybe opts in to go down middle, going for that early face. This can be very effective indeed. And it looks like he actually will get some contention here. The T's will make their way there as well, but he gets flashed off and forced right back to CT spawn. So nice read from the T's there.
Not too bad at all so far. As Cutler knows there's someone pushed up in the long tunnels, he's being very passive about his approach. Hiko's the one that's waiting. He's got a nade ready. Try and flash over the top potentially and catch off Cutler. And this Incinerary will give Hiko the opportunity to do so because he knows they're going to push. In fact, he saves it. He throws it more in a defensive position, and it's going to be the smoke instead. And it screened his escape. Cutler spams the top of the danger stairwell. They've also got a player waiting at the bottom of it in the form of Haste, so anyone stuck in there would be flushed, but there is no one there. They've gone very passive, in fact, on the CT side. He goes all the way back on the A platform. Adren's trying to get that op in a closer angle, as we can see here, but again, the smoke in front of him now means that they're pretty much going to be right on top of him.
They're going to pop flash through that any second. Yeah, he needs to get out of there before that got dangerous for him. So gets back to the bomb side now. Like I said, Hiko's going to be there as well. This could be a difficult hold for them, especially if a full execution comes there. We can see one T towards B still, trying to keep their remaining CTs there.
And Adren in this position pretty much has to hit the first shot, but flashed off of it means he needs to go passive, and now a smoke as well. It's going from bad to worse from Adren's positioning. Smoked in both angles he's tried to play so far, and this gives more and more entrance space for CLG, but Adren, he can't hit the first shot. Now he's going to get Molotov. The utilities have been perfect against the CT AWP. And Haste finds the first kill on Hiko. Finally, Nitro shows his presence, but still the bomb site is given up, and a bomb plant for CLG. Continues to look like the class of the field. Fugly showed up behind, though. They haven't yet found him on that A ramp. JDM continuing his reign. Does a chance to get another, but can't do it. And now the retake looking strong. Cutler's going to be passive about it, and it doesn't pay off. Fugly finds him, and we'll get another round for Team Liquid.
Yeah, lucky Fugly arrived at that moment. They didn't have any kits on the board. Needed a very fast retake. He finds some frags there. The hold from Hiko and Adren was actually pretty poor, to be honest. They got isolated at the back of the site, and that's a problem when you play so passively there. So Adren, like you said, forced into so many different situations and wasn't really able to be that impactful now, but now they get a double AWP. So this could be good. It means they don't have to sacrifice so many men towards B all the time. They can just have one set up at the back and one towards drop down, getting information as well. So they can be a lot more dynamic, I think. Adren now looking to he's going towards long A. I'd like him to show a bit more aggression here and just go for that early frag and not allowing the T's to have so much freedom, and he will be doing that exactly. So this is good. Nice change of pace for them.
It's he and Hiko that are together, so the two most experienced players. It's Elige, Fugly, and Nitro.
Oh, that's a shame. JDM just out-skilling him there a little bit. Faster reactions, but Elige does answer back, taking down Hayes. 4-on-4 does favour the T's right now, but everything's still to play for in this round.
Hiko's going to go passive one more time. Fugly, to compensate for the loss of Adren, has left the B site and gotten on the window side of the drop. And that does mean he can rotate fast, but CLG, they're taking this A site time and time again, and now Hiko's got to play this almost perfect because he knows they've gone past him. And he does find Tarek, but lost a lot of HP in the process, so it's followed up immediately by Finesse. And that Molotov will allow them further in toward the platform. JDM again is going to find Elige. Time and time again, once he gets close to the site, he's finding the rotation players from the counter-terrorists. They might have to look towards stacking the A site, or at least having one player closer in a rotation position, but that does compromise things at B, and if CLG read that, it's just one thing after another to go against Liquid.
Yeah, unfortunately there, obviously I said Adren go for that first pick, and he had the positional advantage there. JDM took him down, and that's where it does fall apart. Hiko very isolated towards that APC on the site, and it was just a really nice fast take from CLG there. And the problem with this round is, after winning one again, Team Liquid lose the one after. Nitro does survive with an AWP, so there is some sort of saving grace there. At least it's not going to be a completely nullified round in the next one, but you can see, look at the money they've got to play with now.
They've had 3 gun rounds total, and we're on round 10.
Well, this is where the AWP needs to step up. It's going to be Nitro wielding it right now. He needs to go find a pick pretty fast. They're going to be aware he has this gun, so I'd imagine we either see something very fast coming from CLG, they go completely on the back foot here, the complete defensive, and try and work out where he is.
And this is where I start to get in. again, it's a rough comparison, Simple and Nitro, but this is where Nitro's having a bad game. Adren's not hitting the op, so he says, all right, I need the op to make something happen, and you're not doing it, so it's a mutual agreement to let Nitro go with it, but this is entirely switching it up. And Nitro, there it is. He hits the first shot on Hayes. He's fallen since as Tarek followed that up. But Adren, he's gone back to the pistol. They've also managed to recover an AK-47, and Fugly still has that AWP in play. But Tarek's got a lot of room to work right now on top of the platform. A flash comes through that won't allow him to finish the kill on Fugly, who gets in behind the statue, but he's only on 14 HP, and no one has armor on this CT side. And there's still only one kit that's on Fugly, so he's got to be careful. Molotov may not reach him, just clipping the edge of the statue, and it allows Fugly to hit the secondary shot, so JDM, he goes down. Cutler knows exactly where his position is, but how does he cross over with two players potentially able to find him? And Cutler finds that first kill, not answered at all. And again, the aim punch could be a factor here, but it's not. Adren, they close it out, and that AWP did find the first pick.
That's what it came down to. Great first pick there. Opened up, did get returned straight away, but then Fugly picked it up. He was left on like 14 HP, I think it was, and he got to the bomb site. And then he somehow played the game perfectly. Positional control by him. Took a couple of risks there, facing perhaps when he shouldn't have done, but made those kills work for him and won his team the round. So fantastic stuff from him. This is the kill that actually changed around for them. But we do go into another gun round, but that's one Team Liquid desperately needed. And they get back and they can bounce back straight away.
Adren's gone back to the op once the guns come back out. They've stacked it on the B site, though, so it's just Hiko alone playing A. And this is actually the right call so far, as CLG has a bias toward that B site. Bomb is down in the tunnels, or the hallways, rather. But Cutler and Tarek did do some reconnaissance missions over at A. Haven't got any information from it. They'll join the raiding party.
All 5 players got to be committed to the B bomb site. No one showing presence at A, like we saw Tarek do before, but next frag could be very important. 2 players towards drop down as well.
More and more utility spent on that long B position. Would now have to be calculated. How do they want to use the rest of them? Because there goes their only Molotov. Cutler's not going to fall on top of it. They're going to flash on, and once it dissolves, they're in. Tarek on top of Nitro, but a counter flash from his teammate. He actually got blinded by his team, couldn't go through and pursue that kill. That might have bailed out Team Liquid, as the Liege will find Finesse, and Nitro does get Cutler because of that, but follow that up, CLG. It's perfect afterwards. 3 kills leaves Hiko and Elise. And Elise on low HP manages to find one, but Hayes is right back into him. So Hiko, the man we said with the closing potential, has to do this. 1-on-2, bomb down. And he's trying to come in directly from the connection point. Hits it from the double door. And it's left to the 1-on-1. AWP in JDM's hands versus Hiko, who's getting desperately closer onto this bomb site. But the time is in the favor of JDM, and he's just going to watch for this cross. He's looking at the alleyway, knowing the timing that he hasn't yet shown himself. He's going to hold this. JDM's got to go for the peak. He's still holding this. Thankfully, he hits the shot successfully, because Hiko, pros don't fake.
Yep, I expected him to fall back as well. It's probably the best call he could have done. Even if he'd gone for the fake, all JDM would have done is shoulder peek and angle and just hit him away straight away. So he didn't really have many options, unfortunately, going into that one. But after getting the 3rd round on the board for Liquid, they're losing that one again. A B take where they had 4 CTs on the side as well. A round they should be taking, to be honest. And once again, the AWP not being too effective for them. I think it's probably time to put it down and just get the 5 rifle set up, to be honest. But needless to say, it's going to be another pistol round going into this one. And with the 5-7, PT50s on the board. Once again, that B stack ringing true. They do like this, and I think CLG have finally learned that lesson and kind of going straight for A now. They know it's an eco.
And I'm wondering if Finesse heard this boost happen, because he's staring directly at Nitro. There's the shot, and successfully so. This allows them to march in on A. So many stacks on the B site, and CLG, aside from one round where they took the fight, have read the other 2. Guns have been the issue. There's been no economy for Team Liquid. They need to start stringing some successive rounds together. 1 kill to at least damage potential economy for CLG, but, well, actually, as I say that, I was going to say, but they've won enough rounds. They actually aren't that far ahead right now economically, so this, any kill that they get, this could help a lot. So far, though, it is only that one. Fugly wants JDM. JDM knows where he is.
They're going to have to double eco this as well, you know. They're going to have get $1,900 next round. Players won't be able to buy. So this is really a horrible game for them so far in terms of just the money purely. You can see they could get the Famouses out. A couple of players are on 5 to 6K, but it's going to be Famouses on the other 3.
I almost think you have to go for it at this point.
I think you're absolutely right. Like it's getting to the stage now. It's getting too far gone. They have won an eco before, so might as well force buy up into this one. It's going to be difficult for Hiko to actually have much to play with. I think he's just deciding what he will buy that.
No, they actually, yeah, they did.
So Famas's 1 kit. They have got the AWP on Adren though, so obviously going to be relying on that. Like I said, he hasn't really been too impactful. He's coming on 4 for 10. 5 players.
I said Liquid had potentially the better side on this map, but that's not showing to be the case. Finally, some kills working for them. Elige gets 2. He's been pretty strong, I have to say, individually at holding his position, and Nitro's going to follow up with a grenade kill on Hazed. So finally a round for Liquid. That's convincing.
You're right, Elige really is stepping up there, not even dying at this stage. 2 kills for him, leaving this in a 5-on-2. So finally, they string something together and get that eco, well, force buy working for them. Tarek and Cutler over the last min remaining. So Tarek will be going for a frag case. He's in drop-down room. Has got a lot of time to play. We're just seeing if anyone will give him an inch.
Fires through the window. Bit of a pre-fire as well, so that'll give away his position. But I think Liquid already know what is happening. Nitro, 2nd kill in the round for him now as well. So him and Elige stepping up, and there's the op from Adren to close it out. Now that's 4 rounds Liquid only. But finally some guns to work with and a broken economy. But not fully. They could still force if they wanted to, but I don't think CLG will. They've got far enough a lead here that if they force into this, they won't. Okay, so they do. I thought they might save for round 15 where they'd force again but get a full buy instead.
That's what I would probably say. I'd have said they do like the quasi-buy there and have some tech guns and some body armor perhaps, but they've gone pretty much all in on this. You can see JDM has got $600 left, but tech 9s and some smoke grenades there. Again, all 5 players heading over to B once again at the start of the round here. It didn't work out for them. Elige completely shut them down last time. It seems like once again the CTs can actually stack 4 players towards the B side. They're so confident these B players are coming in almost every single time.
Well, that's the thing. It started off with A presence, and that's where I was seeing the issues because they weren't being able to hold A. Hiko had to go passive a number of times. CLG was just really good at using utilities to get the map control on the A site. Lately, it's been B, and I actually expected Liquid to win the B battle between these 2 teams. So, proving me wrong, CLG, and again they do so. Excellent shots from Hazed walking in. 1 turns back, 2 on Adren, and now it's Cutler to come in as Nitro's back is turned, and had a double for him. Fugly goes down. JDM found actually the one just before, so it's not a double, although it looked that way on our screen. Hiko alive, but he's running. It'll be 10 rounds, and Counter Logic, they pull it off with this.
It's it's really hard to watch when you have 4 players every single time towards B, and you're getting like shut down that convincingly as well. They only take 1 frag down in that execution. It is a very nice way they take the B bomb side though. The way they use the smoke grenades in the drop down zone and the double flashbangs in the Molotov as well. It's very effective, and it forces the CTs to be very passive. And as soon as that's going on as well, the players coming out upper, it seems like it's really difficult to hold against. But Hiko will save a gun, taking down Hayes with him. Drops that down. Obviously, we're going to the last round now. They've got no choice but to force into this round. And it wouldn't surprise me if CLG has kept up this pressure. But to be honest, after you've stacked B so many times, CLG could probably just do a very fast A push and answer back pretty convincingly with that. But 10 rounds on the board for them as a T side. Obviously, dream half. And obviously, they will be going towards A as well. So changing it up a little bit, perhaps.
Yeah, Liquid are getting just outclassed right now in so many ways. JDM as well has been excellent with the T side AWP. Continues to lead the way.
So Hiko just spotting that long A angle. He just wanted to get some information as to where the T's are coming. His objective at that point is to fall back, smoke off that area, and isolate them. It means they can't push through at all, and it means he can slow the team down and get rotations over.
The interesting thing, though, is that they've stacked up that area with him and Adren, knowing that there's pressure there, but they haven't compensated for the lower mid, because you'd think Fugly would then come over closer to the doorway. He hasn't. Just because of 1 smoke from Finesse, all 3 B players have stayed put.
Well, no frags to be exchanged yet. Time ticking away as we get to the 50-second mark. Like you said, Finesse is going to be over towards B. Not really showing to. He's just waiting for pushes or flanks to be coming in, as they have shown some presence towards A. Hiko still quite deep towards the long A area. And now it looks like it will be a B play coming to fruition once again. But look there, Ali's going to be a Molotov out as well. Nightmare for him. Gets completely destroyed by that double Molotov. That's actually a really nice take.
JDM, again, AWP on the T side, finding Nitro, and CLG looking to close this out potentially at 11-4. 2 players left in their way of doing so. It's Hiko and Adren. Experienced members, they were the A players, so late to the party.
Say that again.
It's more of a funeral than a party,
Yeah.
let's be honest here. They do manage to pick up 1 Hiko, as he will find Hazed in drop, but Finesse has gotten him behind the door. He has to, 10 HP as he gets spammed down. His teammate's gonna Molotov him. Finesse, no hard feelings, man, but they will eventually find Adren And Tarek's looking to close it against Hiko, losing a lot of damage, but does so. Sprays away, hits the headshot, 11-4.
Yeah, so Elige getting that chance up a platform position there. And he saw the way most teams will Molotov that position, but the way CLG did it there was actually pretty cool. You Molotov one area, and then actually the route back to the bomb site, they Molotov that off as well. It's an absolute impossible situation for him to survive. So that was a really nice take from them. Coming onto the bomb site there, pretty simple procedure at this point. Took the opening kills. And once again, most NA teams will do this, heading towards the B bomb site almost every single time. And even when the CTs had 4 players there, unable to shut it down. The rounds they did win, they weren't able to string anything together. So they'd win one round, lose the next one, and then it was when they had no money ever really. So it was quite difficult to watch. Adren there, the AWP player, that should be the player stepping up on CT. Cobblestone moving him around, getting early information, but he got locked out of the game a lot of the time, trying to go for some aggressive picks. We saw him go to long A, taken down, went for the pick on middle, flashed out of position, never really had a chance to actually get rolling there. So hopefully he can step it up on the T side. I'd like to see him actually have some impact, but ultimately that was all about Team CLG and their great B takes.
Yeah, I just think the communication was a little bit off as well for Liquid. Again, rotations were a little bit lackluster late. They had to retake A a number of times.
Well,
JDM shut them down.
Yeah.
Even when the B takes came in, they were a little bit caught in the open. Didn't really... In fact, the only time I saw a set play from them to counter that was when they had the op and the pistols and they boosted up Nitro. Everything else was like default, but it looked confused. Like one player would go one direction and then no one would therefore compensate for the aggressive play. They'd leave a massive gap.
Look at this boost they've got going on in middle. They've seen all the CTs run past them and actually shooting them in the back now. So Fugly opening up, takes down Tarek. This is actually a horrible situation for CLG to be in. Maybe we can bounce back now.
Liquid are losing the battles.
Oh,
all of the battles. CLG get them. And that's actually a play out of VP's book.
Yes, you're
As
right.
they fight back in, Elige is going to take down Cutler, but we'll get back to that thought in a second because that's not entirely how it is to be executed. The thought was there, the process was not. And it's CLG in a 3-on-1 against Hiko, who's desperate to get that bomb back. First shot successful, still has decent HP as well. Hits the shot on FNS to start things off. JDM, we can see him just over to the camera left, is trying to set up a crossfire. So if Hiko, although he's got 46 seconds, tries to push forward, it'll be resolved, and Hiko's going to go hunting for that. I think he knows JDM's there, but this is where the crossfire comes into play. And JDM will close it out. So what VP try and do is they let you push past, they get one kill, and then they rush onto the A site because they know you've pushed away from it and you've weakened the defense. But they weren't in a position to capitalize on that because as soon as they got that first kill, they were divided. Bomb was in front of the CLG players. They pretty much had to win the duels, and they didn't do that.
It's because most T teams will try to go to the B bomb site on that first pistol round, like 90% of the time. So that's why you send players at the top and middle, waiting for the CT push to try and work out what you're doing, and then you get the first kills, like you said. Come in, but CLG look like they kind of screwed that up, but bounce back and win the pistol again. So now we do see the force buy from Liquid coming in. Tech 9s, 2 smoke grenades as well. Suggests they will be doing some sort of set take, possibly smoking off connector and maybe balcony as well. He's running out and seeing what they can do with this.
It's going to be Cutler that's waiting. Sprays down Nitro on the entrance and then add JDM to the mix with the gun that is built for spraying. The P90, 2 kills his way. Damage further for, I keep wanting to call him Fur, but it's Cutler. Just that 3-letter ER.
Yeah, so those are the smokes they tried out, connector and balcony. And obviously, before they can get out of the long A area, completely sprayed down by JDM and Cutler. And it's just going to be Fugly left. So that force buy leading to absolutely nothing, I'm afraid. No bomb going down, and no bomb on the pistol as well. Means they're on full eco next round and pretty much devastated for the first gun round as well. It's going to be Galils and AKs. So this goes from bad to worse for Team Liquid here. Fugly, the last man remaining, just kind of snooping around the danger zone. That's actually a nice little discipline from CLG here.
Yeah, no one going hunting. Now they've spotted him, and they will. Finesse will come up the stairs behind Fugly as he's distracted and doing battle elsewhere. And Tarek doesn't even need the help. He'll get the kill with the FAMAS, and now it will be 13 rounds for CLG against only 4 from Liquid.
Yeah, they can't even justify buying anything here. They need to have a decent buy in the first gun round, so I wouldn't even be surprised they don't even get P250s or flashbangs. It's going to be rushing one area. Maybe through middle, try to find that first player somehow. But it looks like all 5 of them opting to go towards B here, so pretty much a throwaway round. If they manage to even get any kills, I'll be surprised.
Shots from FNS, though, successful. Still the pistols, no buy at all whatsoever. Okay, well, out of ammo. I thought he might just spray them all down as they get very low on HP. Eventually, Nitro does get back into Tarek and makes him pay for that, but Cutler's there, so they only lose Tarek in the process. Either way, 14-4, and now guns to come out. No one's got money for an AWP.
No, we knew that was going to happen after the force buy the second round, but to be fair, it's a round they could justify after how many rounds they've lost on the CT half. They needed to find something out of somewhere, but 5 AKs, 5 smokes, and a Molotov as well, but definitely not an ideal situation for them. And CLG will be keeping the pharmacists, just trying to keep their economy a little bit more modest in case they do lose this round. They know what's coming. Trying to find some sort of presence in the upper platform, but smoked out there by JDM. No one really committing to anything just yet. They're trying to just feel out each other, see what's going on. JDM playing very aggressively there.
The archway is commonly checked, but there's only one Molotov to do so with.
He knows the money's low for them, right?
Yeah. It's Fugly that has it. He's close enough by, but they still haven't committed to this. Hiko's waiting desperately for someone to get impatient on that A-long position to walk out into his crosshair. Derek's covering off drop. CLG's looking very disciplined. I have to say, no one's overextending. They've got control of all the major points of contention. By JDM getting up in that archway, they've been able to double up things on to drop. But there's the play I was talking about. Someone does finally get a little bit undisciplined. They walk forward and allow Hiko to get that opening kill that he was waiting for the whole time. They still haven't come for a full rotation, though, because Cutler's responded with the kill in Elige. Bombs in the hands of Fugly, and it will eventually, well, initially looked, I was going to say go back toward A because they're making presence inside that site. Instead, it's Hiko. We talked about this. You mentioned it, trying to pull rotations. It's not going to work out, though. Hiko's now gone down. He doesn't get any kills, and JDM spotted up the play, so he'll make the call, in fact, and Tarek will come over. Match point now for CLG in map number 1.
Yeah, so that's what we saw Hiko do so well for Flipside when he murked from that one time. Obviously, trying to do the same sort of role, getting into long A, finds his frag. He does that job so well, but the team were just dropping like flies at that stage, unable to get themselves back into it. So 15-4, CLG looking immense right now, going into this one. Obviously, force buy from Liquid now, and options are very limited. You would assume just a straight-up B rush here. I think they know this one is pretty much over when you've got this many rounds to go. On the terrorist side of Cobble, you can't really have too much confidence here, but here we go then. Really smoked out, but entering the bomb site nonetheless. Adren has got an AK. Hiko will join him with Gabriel. Comes in, Fugly drops down his foot down there.
Has to open it up, yep. JDM, oh, in great position to watch. The lineup does eventually come back for the second shot, despite being flashed in. A second kill as he comes out very quickly against Nitro. It's looking like all but done at this point, and it is. 16-4, very convincing game from CLG.
Yeah, they're looking much stronger as a unit right now. Just holding positions really effectively on their CT side, and their T side was pretty flawless, to be honest. Like I said, even when the Liquid had 4 players towards the B bomb side, knowing exactly what was going on, just locking them down, and the economic game was just completely crushed for them. So, yeah, what can you say more than that? It's just had Liquid not even getting a footing onto the game, really. Just every round they'd won was answer straight back with a great response from CLG. 16-4, the scoreline says it all.
Absolutely, the scoreline does say it all. I take back what I said about Liquid having potential. They looked very disorganized, I have to say, on that map.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? It seemed like they didn't have the response. So they tried to be a little bit more dynamic. We saw them trying to face the AWP towards long A, going towards middle, but CLG were just too aware of what was going on to allow that to happen.
Yeah, I see the potential for the roles in the way that the Liquid team is structured right now, but I'd love to listen to the communication. I'd love to have a listen-in. Obviously, teams hate listen-ins, but fans love them for the obvious reason that I'm stating now, is that we do get insight to what the team's up to.
Sure.
Things looked very, I would imagine the comms were very likely as cluttered as the play was from the team.
It's difficult, though, when you're on the CT side, and then you lose the pistol, you get the first gun round back, and then you lose that round afterwards. That's when the game starts falling apart. You need to have very strong mental fortitude to even make sure you make the right decisions going forward from that. If you keep force buying into it and getting onto yourself on the double ecos and stuff, that's when it falls apart. And it seemed like they just never had the economy to battle what was going on. And the AWP players as well didn't really arrive. I think they should have stuck with 5 rifles. That would be more effective for them.
Remember as well that Liquid did not qualify for the last major. In fact, that means that they have to pre-qualify for just going to Stockholm as a qualifier, which has no guaranteed slots for North America. So CLG may not even be safe. But if they pull things together, maybe there's a chance for them. They've got a lot of time to work on it. Actually, I shouldn't say that. They've only really got 2 weeks. But either way, let's look at the scoreboard.
Loads of time.
Yeah, loads of time. No, they actually don't. That's actually when I think about how close that is. Man, time flies, doesn't it? JDM, and I have to say his T-side hopping was most impressive to me. Leads the way on 24 kills.
And unfortunately, the Nitro, the poster boy for Liquid, we talked about him being the lights out player for them, always stepping up, very quiet. And it seems like most of the guys, Hiko not having a huge game either, although some of the picks he did get was interesting. Fugly was actually the best player, I think, for Liquid by far. He was actually one making things happen in certain situations. Adren, again, AWP player, not going to be easy if you're holding towards A and having to retake B all the time, but what more can you say? 5 frags in a series, never going to be a good situation for your team anyway. But let's have a look at the heat map, and let's see where, I'm assuming everything went towards B.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Look how brightly that's lit up, and that's a drop down towards the connector as well. CLG are having some rounds towards the A bomb side, but when you pick up 11, like it's going to be all over the place as T side, right? It's just going to be crazy. So most of their rounds going towards B, but having the rotation kills, Tarek walking up middle by himself sometimes as well. Liquid didn't win a single round on their terrorist side, so not really much on the board. I can't even see any of the lights. A couple of some candles on the map perhaps. Towards A and B, but
yeah, well, candles would be appropriate because you could light them for that performance from Team Liquid. We'll look at the MVP. Surprise, surprise, it is JDM. He's been on fire with the AWP as of late. I think he's looked more consistent than ever. Again, his impact, I have to say, just the ability for him to find those rotation players coming into the A site. Usually that crossfire from balcony favors the CTs. Adren wasn't able to really line things up. Utilities were placed very well to push him out, and JDM hit every shot he needed to make sure they secured that. Yeah,
JDM definitely winning that battle. I think that goes without saying. Just comparing the Hawpers, 24 kills, faced 5, then that kind of summarizes it already. But obviously, best of 3 series here, so we'll be having Overpass next. So what do you think?
Our decision, here's what I think. Our decision to wear flannel shirts, both plaid, is the most clashing thing I've ever seen.
Clashing in what way? I think
but I
good.
love it. Like The Clash. I know you're into them. All right, we're going to take a break on that note. We'll come back. It will be map 2, and it will be Train. We'll see if Liquid can have anything in return. Take a lot of damage, in fact going down to 23 before he moves, trying to catch them off guard in a late movement, but that's not going to help. JDM again with 2 more kills, about to find his 3rd, not able to land a shot. But it is a successful take on the A site. Fugly going to try and do everything he can against it. They've got the man advantage on Team Liquid's side, but JDM, he's still reaping havoc.
Made the frags they had to. No DDoS as of yet. Seems like CLG.
Jinx it, man. Interesting thing as well.
Information as well, so it can be a lot more dynamic, I think. Adren now looking like he's going towards long A. I'd like him to show a bit more of that. That's what I would probably say. I'd be second.
Proving me wrong, CLG, and again they do so. Excellent shots from Hayes walking in. It's waiting. Sprays down Nitro on the entrance, and then add JDM to the mix with the gun that is built for spraying. The P90, 2 kills his way. Damage further. Still the pistols, no buy at all whatsoever. Okay, well, out of ammo, I thought he might just spray them all down as they get very low on HP. Eventually, Nitro does get back into Tarek. He makes him pay for that, but